Now let's dive into this all too important topic of documentation. This documentation is going to be for audits, it's going to be for reviews. Documentation is pretty much necessary for most engagements. And what is this going to do? Well, the combination of all of the bank statements, cash recs, correspondence, anything used to validate the end goal, which is either an opinion or a document or a forecast, whatever the end goal is, right? If it's a set of financial statements, well, documentation is there to validate the end goal. Now, it specifically assists the engagement team to plan and perform the audit, which is pretty necessary. It also assists members of the team responsible for supervision to direct and supervise the work, meaning maybe the associate performs the cash rec, and then the senior associate goes in and signs off on it after reviewing it, putting their initials and putting that they reviewed it on a certain date. That is critically important to make sure that nothing slips through the cracks and things are reviewed and there's documentation of who reviewed what. So we know who's on the line if something does slip through the cracks. It also enables the team to demonstrate that it is accountable for its work by documenting the procedures performed, the evidence examined, and conclusions reached. You're covering your own ass. That's essentially what it is. You're saying, okay, well, if we are giving you a clean opinion, here's why. Because here's all the documentation demonstrating that there's no issues. Retaining a record of matters of continuing significance to future audits. If you're auditing a client every year for 10 years, let's say, and they've got an ongoing 10-year lease, well, that's going to be relevant each year of your engagement. You're going to want to have a record of that in your documentation so you can keep referencing it every year. It also enables the conduct of quality reviews and inspections. That's a whole another topic where you have your quality control reviewer come in and make sure you're doing a quality audit. And what are they going to look at? Well, they're going to look at your documentation, the work papers you've prepared. It also enables external inspections or peer reviews in accordance with legal, regulatory, or other requirements, right? There's PCAOB requirements, AICPA requirements, different requirements depending on which authority we're dealing with in the particular engagement that essentially says, oh, you need to have someone review your work and make sure you're doing a quality engagement. And again, how are they going to make sure you're doing that? Well, they're going to look at your documentation. Assisting an auditor who reviews a predecessor auditor's audit documentation. I'll say this a few times throughout the whole course. Essentially, if you're doing an engagement, you should prepare a work paper. Prepare that in a way that someone else who is a competent accountant, right, but has never worked on this client before, could be able to pick up your work paper and understand what is going on. So meaning if it's putting little notes and tick marks around and making sure that it's clear and concise what is going on in the work paper, it's clear where there is displaying variances that we've discovered. Again, you don't need to spell it out for them, but it needs to be reasonably understood. So that's kind of what that point is going on with. Lastly, that's essentially want to group these two together. If someone's reviewing the prior documentation, or let's say you leave the firm, well, then someone else is going to pick up your work, and then they are going to need to understand what you did. And you don't want to leave them hanging dry, right? We're all in the trenches just trying to get the work done. Hey there! Are you ready to not only pass your CPA exams, but truly understand and enjoy the material while studying? I know it seems impossible, right? Especially to enjoy the material? We'll do it together. Tap into the power of CPA.examprep.ai, where we've got personalized quizzes, multiple choice questions, memorization guides, flashcards, simulations, all tailored to your learning. Our adaptive study planning puts you on the fastest path to success and lifts you back up if you fall behind. Avoid wasting your precious time and money attempting an exam with a low chance of passing, because who wants that? We want to get you through this process as quick as possible. Our exam readiness prediction lets you walk in with confidence, knowing that you're prepared for success on exam day. Thankfully, there's no payment method needed to get started, so why don't you come join us? Visit cpa.examprep.ai and let's achieve your exam success together.